In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker based upon his appearance from Attack of the Clones. I've had this action figure for almost 2 years now. At first, I missed out on the pre-order for him, but I put myself on the wait list, and fortunately I ended up getting the email notification that he is available. So while I don't have all the Hot Toys Anakins that have been made, I just have this one and the Revenge of the Sith one, the original Revenge of the Sith one. I would make the case that this is probably the best Anakin that they've made so far. There's a lot more going on with this guy than meets the eye, and a lot more effort was put into this action figure than you would think they would put into an Anakin. Definitely a lot more going on with him than even the Revenge of the Sith Anakin. I'm glad to have him in the collection. Of course, he looks great alongside Padme here. And it has been 2 years now since I've done the video for Padme, so recommend checking her out. And both were released as part of the 20th anniversary of Attack of Clones, although they were released much later than that. I think they were announced back in 22, but it wasn't until about 24 before they actually started making their ways around. A lot of accessories for him. A lot more than most Hot Toys action figures, I would think. But before we take a closer look at him, we'll go ahead and look at his package here. Pretty good image of Anakin there. Kind of a signature look for him. Yeah, you can see that 20th logo for Attack of Clones down there. Clone Trooper helmet. I think these might have been the only two action figures released. There might have been a few Clone Troopers as well. Maybe like the Clone Pilot might have that logo. But for this package here, this is not the main package. This is just the outer sleeve. I do have all the accessories out. That 20th logo again. Another image of Anakin. Then you have this sticker here, 20 years, episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Feels like yesterday almost. I went to go see that film. Not a whole lot else to really say about the package. Have some ambient backgrounds here. I believe this is supposed to be Geonosis. Another image of Anakin. This looks like maybe while he's on Tatooine. Image of him again. Have the Jedi symbol above his name there. Kind of similar to the Empire Strikes Back Vader, which I still have to do the individual video for. I think maybe the Return of the Jedi Vader is like this as well. But it seems to be a trend that this style package with the sleeve cover is consistent for all the anniversary releases that Sideshow does. That is pretty much it for the package. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at Anakin here. So head sculpt there, I think is phenomenal. You can't really get much better than that for Hayden Christensen. Definitely captures that younger likeness for Anakin in this era, and he's supposed to be about 19, 20 years old at this point. Got the Padawan braid on the side there, looks pretty good. Interesting detail to note is on top of his forehead there, you have the strands of hair. Not sure how well that shows up on camera, but just some minor details that you don't see on all the Hot Toys action figures, especially the earlier ones, like before 2020. But just a interesting bit of detail there. Eyes look good. Face sculpt looks good. See how the Padawan braid attaches to his hair there. Hair looks really good as well. And something else, it's very subtle, and I've actually never taken it apart, but you can split his head in half and articulate the eyes. I don't think I'm going to do that here because it is, even though I haven't really tried it, it looks a little bit more complicated. But you can kind of see where the hair splits along here. And then for the back of his head. You have the a little bit of the ponytail on the back. But definitely one of the best Hayden Christensen likenesses you can get in action figure form, among any action figure, quite frankly. Hopefully this year for the Battle of Geonosis we get a new Anakin as well for Black Series and TVC. His robes look really good as well. I think he has about 3 layers on. You have that lighter gray one underneath, then the outer Jedi robe, and then of course the leather tunic piece on top here. Hopefully that does not break away or fray over time. It feels like it's a pretty good material, but you never know here. I do like the colors of everything as well. A little bit of a lighter brown compared to Revenge of the Sith. Just nice to have a little bit of that difference between the two. See the belt there. His trousers and his boots. Those are pretty standard for Anakin. For the Revenge of the Sith Anakin I have, unfortunately the boots at the straps here, and even down here for one of his boots, right there, unfortunately are breaking away. I might have a solution to be able to fix that here soon. They are fixable, but it's just unfortunate for as premium as these action figures are to have things deteriorate like that. Hopefully it doesn't happen for this guy. So far so good, but you never know. Side view of him here. But pretty good detailing. See his belt there. Hopefully his belt doesn't break away like Jango Fett's did. Thick material for his tunic as well. It definitely feels like that will last. See the pouches on his belt there. So that is pretty much it for the Anakin figure. Move him here for now. Looks great alongside Padme. Now for his accessories. So we got a lot of accessories. First we'll start with his robe here. I've always thought Anakin's Attack of Clones robe was very odd. It just has these two pieces that drape over the front of him. And then of course you have the back. And I have yet to even really verify in the film. I've tried watching it as closely as possible, and I'm not even sure if that's really the style of his robe. Maybe you can only see it at a couple frames. I'm going to have to go back through and try and study that again, because to me it looks like a full robe similar to like Revenge of the Sith. We'll see. But it is a very nice material. It's basically 2 layers overlapped on one another. Kind of see that there. He does have the hood. And just to kind of show how this drapes over him here. Well, it does look pretty good on him. It's fairly natural. And then of course, if you want to put the hood over him, you could do that too. It does have a little bit of a wire in the inside. Kind of help give him that shape. Trying to think, we really don't see him with his hood up too often in Attack of the Clones, if ever. Most of the time I keep him like that. Next, we have many of the standard accessories. Alternate hands. Here's some more force gesture ones. Again, really good detailing there. Oftentimes I have his left hand with this one. Next we have the 2 fisted hands. Then next we have the slightly more open palms here. And then, of course, we have his gripping hands for the 2 lightsabers here, which I will admit the grips are kind of a tight grip, and you will have to basically wiggle the lightsaber hilt into his hand in order to get that to work, but it does have enough flex. Although one thing I'll show later on in the video is this hand here, a little bit of the black paint has unfortunately rubbed off onto his hand. Very unfortunate that happened, but there's not much I can do. But the point being is be very careful when putting the hilts in his hand. Of course, you have these extra hinged pegs here, which are handy to have. It's extra points for his lightsaber hilt. I've actually never put it on his belt before. Then we have the light up hilts with the plug-in here. And I do have the box right here, which just plugs into a USB. And similar to many other of the recent Hot Toys action figures, you just plug it onto the back of his belt. And then we have Anakin's signature lightsaber from Attack of Clones as well. And then, of course, the two regular hilts. You have the green lightsaber and the blue one, which the green one's given to him by Nasasso 2, I think his last name was. There is a Hasbro action figure of him, which I have to get at some point. But he's the one who provides Anakin with the green lightsaber at the Geonosis Arena. And then, of course, his blue blade here. Glad to have both. And, of course, we have the two waving blades here. Next here, an extra bracket for the electronic box. Next we have the eye tool, which this one is clear. Most of the time they're usually black. We have his alternative arm after he gets his new robotic arm. And this one specifically when he's marrying Padme. Very nice detailing in this as well. Would recommend being careful. You can't articulate the fingers or anything, which is fine. You have this bracket piece here, which I'm not exactly sure what it's for. I don't really recall seeing this mechanical arm with that. You have his regular arm here. A really good accessory to have. In fact, I think the Revenge of Sith mechanical arm that's included similar to this does have the articulated fingers. So interesting that they did not do that here. But it's probably because they wanted to try and recreate that scene at the end of the film. But then next, we have the display stand here. A little bit of a different scene here. This is supposed to be for the Geonosis droid factory. Star Wars Anakin Skywalker has the crotch bracket there. But an interesting inclusion with this stand that you don't see too often is it has these two pieces here, which are obviously part of the droid factory. But what you're supposed to do is just split them at the ends right here. They're not magnetic or anything, and they're just there for decoration. Doesn't really add a whole lot. But it's nice that they included something like that. Just something a little bit different. Add a little more decor there. But that is pretty much it for his accessories. I did want to show off one thing too, the instruction manual, which is kind of a thicker one, just to kind of show off some of the elements that we haven't showed yet. So we do have this poster for Attack of Clones. Interesting, they picked an image of Sidious from the Phantom Menace. Dooku and Obi-Wan there. I might get the Obi-Wan at some point. In fact, I probably should. I really should get a Hot Toys Obi-Wan here sooner than later, but This stuff just gets so expensive, and then, of course, the space reasons. But just kind of show how the head splits there on the back, can adjust the eyes, how the robe fits over him. It does have it does have some wiring in it, extra lightsabers, how the belt works, the hilt on the belt, just taking off some of the tunic, and of course with the electronic sabers here, you would have to feed that wire through his sleeve, and I have done that once, but it is kind of a pain, and then trying to put his tunic back together. A lot of times it doesn't go back on the same way that you had it. I do hope at some point they come up with a better system, something a little bit more efficient and easier to work with. That's what we have for now. In fact, I wouldn't mind if they just went back to the batteries in the arm even. Just showing the battery box there on the stand. Extra hand there. Indicated rod is fragile. Please handle with care. Otherwise, it may be damaged. And that is pretty much it for the instructions. Take this off for now. We'll lay everything out. But definitely a lot going on for Anakin here. A lot more than I originally thought there would be. And to show off Anakin's articulation here. Pretty standard for most Hot Toys action figures, but just to kind of show exactly how the parts move. Pretty good range of motion in the head. Although it's a little bit of a tight on a side-to-side swivel for me. Probably just have to loosen that up over time, but definitely looks up quite a ways. Then down a lot as well. I guess if you wanted him laying down the grasslands of Naboo there, can make that happen. Shoulder is about the same. Butterfly joint there. Hinge at the elbow. Same for the wrist. It's a little tight on mine. It goes up and down like that. Torso joint, again, be a little careful because of this pleather material here. Hips have some range of motion. Again, don't want to split his hips too far out because he might accidentally rip his pants. Hinge at the knee there, and then a little bit of a pivot at the ankle. But just be a little wary about moving them around. Don't want to accidentally rip anything apart. Let's kind of do one more look here. And definitely, if you have Padme, you have to get Anakin to go along with her, or vice versa. But definitely a recommended action figure for your collection. if you don't have an Anakin yet, most people are probably going to gravitate towards a Revenge of the Sith Anakin. But like I said, I think this is probably the best Anakin that Sideshow has made so far for Hot Toys. A lot of accessories with him, best likeness in my opinion. The material for all of his clothing, I think, is really good. Definitely top of the line. Sometimes you get some fabric that feels very cheap. Not the case with this guy at all. And for having him for 2 years now, nothing seems to be fraying or breaking apart or anything of that sorts. Of course, if you're a big fan of Attack of Clones, like I am, I would consider this a must-have. But yeah, having these two side by side here, I definitely think I should probably get Obi-Wan at some point. I'll have to look into that. A lot of great accessories with him. At some point, I will do like a photo shoot for him, showcasing everything about him, even with the light up lightsabers activated, and upload those to Instagram. Would recommend checking that page out if you have not done so already. I do try to at least once a month do some photos for each of the Hot Toys action figures and various poses and showing off their accessories and things like that. And of course some diorama scenes as well. I'm glad to have this guy in my collection. Glad to have the opportunity to get him on the wait list. But if you have any interest in this guy at all, I would definitely recommend checking out Sideshow's website and seeing if you can get one, or any other third-party providers. I think he might still be available, at least on the wait list for Sideshow's website, so that might be an avenue to consider. Otherwise, at this point, if you really want them now, you're probably going to have to resort to eBay or some other sites. But definitely well worth tracking down. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for playing more in the future. There's always more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support, and check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.